Long before the door had a latch, before Letty's name was spoken in hushed tones or not at all, she had been the light of the Campbell family, a girl with laughter like birdsong, always barefoot in the summer, with wildflowers braided into her dark curls. She had been quick-witted, sharp-tongued even, but sweet, always sweet, her mother's pride and her father's joy. But something had changed. It had begun quietly at first, just small little things, like forgetfulness, losing the milk pail, leaving the barn door open, murmuring to herself when she thought no one was listening. Then came the vacant staring, the sudden bursts of laughter at nothing at all, and the strange way her hands fluttered like birds in flight. And then the fits. Her fits were violent, unnatural things, her body seizing, twisting as if unseen hands were wringing the life from her. Her lips would turn blue, her eyes rolling back as she thrashed, foamed, and gasped. Afterwards, she wouldn't remember a thing, only that she felt hollow, as if something inside of her had been scooped out and left empty. The doctor came once, months ago, a man from town, rigid and joyless, who had spent less than an hour examining Letty before turning to Thomas with a grim look. A sickness of the mind, he had declared, nothing to be done for it. He had spoken of institutions, of places where women like Letty were sent, places where families didn't have to listen to the screams in the night or bear the shame of a daughter gone mad. She is not mad, said Abigail, her hands curling into fists. She is my child. The doctor just looked at her with pity, tipped his hat, and left. After that, the decision was made. Letty would stay, but she would be kept away. Thomas had been the one to install the latch. Abigail didn't argue, not because she agreed, but because she saw no other choice. What was she to do? Letty could no longer be trusted near the fire, near the livestock, or near the little ones. There had been an incident, a terrible one, when Sammy, just 5 years old, had wandered too close to his sister during one of her episodes. She didn't mean to hurt him. She never meant to. But his arm had been twisted at an unnatural angle, his cries piercing the night. After that, the door stayed locked. And now, every day, Abigail bore the weight of it. Each time she climbed those stairs, plate in hand, she felt her heart splinter further. She hated herself for how small Letty had become, for the shadows beneath her eyes, for the way she flinched at her own mother's touch. Most of all, she hated that a part of her was relieved the latch was there. Because the truth, the horrible, shameful truth, was that Abigail was afraid of her own daughter. Not of the girl Letty had been, but of what she was becoming. There were nights Abigail woke to find her husband sitting up in bed, his brow creased, his hand gripping the rifle that leaned against the nightstand. Just in case, he had said once. She hadn't asked what he meant. She already knew. And what terrified her most was that deep in the pit of her soul, she wondered if one day, God forgive her, she would agree. But not yet. Tonight, she would sit beside her daughter as she always did, stroke her hair, press a cool cloth to her fevered skin. Tonight, she would still whisper, I love you, and pretend Letty could hear her. Because if she let go of that, if she let go of the hope that somewhere inside that locked room her daughter still remained, then Letty was already gone.